Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about some of the major global environmental issues. It will help us to understand importance of the subject named environmental studies, which has been now made compulsory for all undergraduates to study by Government of India. Now you can see the subject is so important that government has to make it compulsory for all the students to study. What could be the reason? Mostly because the society we live in is all surrounded with the environmental things and we live in, so we have to make sure that this continues a good living atmosphere for the long time. So we all need to contribute, and if we are willing to contribute, we need to know what are the problems and how can we be the part of the solution. In many places, regional challenges become more important than the global issues, but in nutshell, it has been observed that both are interlinked. Many times, regional challenges are coming from the global issues or vice versa. So, the first environmental issue is global population. Though it is not an environmental issue, but it is behind every environmental issue. As per UN, the plots show that the population is growing. In fact, it is the growth rate is very high after 1920. You can see x-axis as the timeline, wherein the y-axis shows the growth rate. The growth rate is decided as per the number of birth to the number of deaths. Though the growth rate is declining after 1980, around 1970, 1980, but still the overall population growth is large, which is making environmental resources limited for every individual for the sustainable development. Next global challenge is different type of pollution. Let us start with the air pollution. Now you can see the plot which shows concentration of PM 2.5 and microgram per meter cube around the world. This is satellite derived PM 2.5. PM here indicates particulate matter. You can see that around 30°, especially in Asian and some of the African and European countries, level of this concentration is very high. Though this concentration varies as per the season as well, but the situation remains more or less same, that the concentration will be very heavy in this particular zone. Recently, people have observed in various parts of the world, especially in China and India, that the formation of smoke is so huge that a lot of day-to-day and routine things are getting disturbed, particularly in the month of November, December, and January. This is a straightforward example of heavy air pollution. Things are so diversified, things are so difficult that for elderlies and the kids, this is very dangerous for their health point of view. Air pollution is increasing day by day and the air around us getting deteriorated. So some of the serious measures needs to be taken if we really want to keep on living in the pure and good air condition. When we are talking about the air pollution, greenhouse gases are also part of it. You can see that in the graph concentration of four gases, namely carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and CFCs has been shown. This is a timeline plot. X-axis is time, year of measurement is the annual average which has been plotted, and the y-axis is the concentration. Now you can see the first leftmost left top graph, which is concentration of carbon dioxide. It is continuously increasing. Similar is true for nitrous oxide. Somehow there is a good news from methane and CFC that their concentration has come to a plateau. It has reached its maxima and now it is decreasing. We know that these greenhouse gases are responsible for global warming. The plot shows that how global temperature has risen up, especially in recent years. Again, it is a timeline plot where x-axis is the temperature anomaly. Now you can see that from 1880, the temperature has gone up by 1 degree centigrade if you are talking about 2010 or so. This 1 degree centigrade increase in the temperature is very serious because it is contributing to various climatic phenomena such as it could change weather patterns entirely, which would ultimately affect crops and economy, particularly developing countries like India, where we are largely dependent on the agriculture. If the weather patterns have changed, then the crops will be disturbed and which will have huge impact on economy. In fact, which we have started observing. Next could be loss of ice from the glaciers and poles, and this could again give rise to the sea level. Glacier ice loss is again a major problem in India because huge population is dependent on the rivers which are floating around. If the glaciers are getting melted early, particularly the rivers which are coming from Himalaya, then it would be a serious problem for agriculture and the drinking water and the groundwater. People have observed, a few research studies have shown that the moment monsoon is over and summer is reaching, that the water in streams are getting very limited. As per IPCC, there could be stronger storms. Again, it is a serious problem for India because we are surrounded by oceans from three sides, and some of the strong cyclones have been observed in the recent years. So, if somehow we are not able to minimize the effect of climate change, this is going to be a serious issue. We could have more droughts, and then ultimately there's one more important thing, that is vector-borne diseases. Research studies have shown that the coming warm climate, wet climate, there could be more vector-borne diseases. So ultimately, putting all together, it seems that climate change is going to affect India in a very large manner.